Hola, hello guys. Welcome back. How are you? I'm excited. I got my pastel colors and I was up last night working on some more jelly prints, and I'm just going to go through them really quickly so you can get an idea of how they look. Gorgeous colors. And here I did add some dark underneath, and I took a stencil. Once I put the first, no, is that the first layer? I can't even tell if that's the first layer. They're mixed so well. But put down your first layer and then your stencil, and then you use your brayer to press on the stencil so that the image is imprinted on that first layer. And pull your stencil up, put your copier paper on it, turn it over, and you have your print. I also did it with an alphabet stencil. Came out lovely. Here I used dried flower, small dried, I think they're Paper Studio flowers that come in the little packets. I just pressed them on the corners a little bit. Not all of them came out. This came out sideways. This one came out. I added some little weeds here. Had these little round thingies on them. I don't know what it's called. I've had it for years. And let's see. I had a lot of fun doing this, but your hand gets tired after a while. This one also, I can bring it up close, but you can't see. I had pressed roses on there, dry roses. Didn't work, but it looks okay, and I can still use that. This one, after I finished with this one, I went and I added stencil to it, but I did not like the way it looks. And I'm telling you, even the misprint, even when you make one that you do not like, those are the ones that you can create to make them look even nicer. This one has that raw umber and the green, the ocean green that I like. Makes that patina look. It's not my favorite, but I'm starting to like that a lot. So here's some of the prints that I finished. Well, this one just needs a few touch-up marks on here, but isn't that pretty? You are my sunshine. This was the paperback. Just about anything works. And here I added a stamp that makes it look like there's a crackling effect going on over here. Numbers, alphabet stencil, number stencils, any type of stamps. And this one is the vellum paper that I had, the jelly print that I made out of vellum paper. Sorry, my little horse today. I didn't like the way that it came out, so I added the stencils. Still didn't like the way it came out. Decided I was going to just write all over the paper, write, and I kind of like it now, so it's still usable. And this is the one that I finished last night. I love it. I love it. I love it. I didn't know that some of these paints do have a sheen to it. It doesn't say anything about glitter or anything on the packaging. So, but now I couldn't tell last night, but I can see it now. Can you see that? I used today. I'm going to make one like this with the same stencil. And just real quick, I have other stencils here. I'm not sure what I'm going to use, but we will see. I do want to add this on there. You're my sunshine on this one. I don't want to make it exactly the same as the other one. And that's the fun thing about stencils. You can just create what you want. I used the number stamps to put 2023, and then I used these stamps that have just writing around the different areas on the print. Use my Uniball pen here. I don't know if I'll use it this time. And then used I didn't use a micron pen around. I used my Pilot G2 to outline the flower, the leaves of the flower. And again, I apologize for the voice. So this is the paper that I have. I did not like the way it came out, but as I look at it, it's doable. It'll work. You're not going to need that very many items. All you need is a palette. You can use a plate if you don't have a palette. I'm using just 3 different colored acrylics, and yes, I'm using a different type of acrylic from what I used on the jelly print. These brushes, because unfortunately I do not have any makeup brushes. They're all brushes. And the number stencils and the writing stencils. I'm going to use archival ink my micron pens, Uniball. I have some stamps here, and of course my stencil. So now all we need to do is put the stencil on there. You can put it to the right, to the left. I'm going to maybe move it over just a little bit to the left. It doesn't have to be the same as the other. And I will hold it down with, I'm not going to press too hard on the masking tape because I don't want it to pull up any paint on the right side. And it won't move, it'll stay in place. Okay, so I've gone ahead and already put the paint in the palette. And I'm going to put some on the brush. I'm just going to dab it on here a little bit so that I can remove some of the paint from the brush. And then just pounce. Of course, if you have your makeup brush, it'll be a lot easier for you than it is for me. And it doesn't have to be that dark. You choose how heavy or how light you want those petals to be. And if it runs into the center of the flower, that is okay. No worries. We'll be adding some of that. It's actually wine color. It's not red, it's wine. I'll be adding some of that in there, mixing it. Have you ever seen those sunflowers that are a deep, 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 deep wine color? Oh, they're so beautiful in the autumn. There's a garden we go to, that we've been to, and the sunflowers are humongous. They're giant. But the colors, I had never seen sunflowers like I saw that day. It's a botanical garden. There's more than just the flowers. There's veggie gardens, there's a butterfly area, but the sunflowers, I had never seen them that big before. I did forget my brown, and it is also burnt umber. I'm using tranquil green, wine, and hay. This is just hay. So now I'm going to use the brown. I did forget the brown. And that's going to go in the center. And if it dabs a little out into the yellow, I am okay with that. Let's take a little peek so you can see. I am okay with that. So okay with that. I think I wet my brush a little too much. So let's go in there and keep dabbing. Don't dab too hard. Sometimes if you dab too hard, your brush might slip underneath and smear the paint. It's happened. Let's see that one real quick. Can't see the brown because of that, but once I put the wine color in there, it'll work. So I'm going to just mix some of the wine color into the brown, not completely. I am not going to wait until it dries. See? And I'm going to let it overlap a little bit into the yellow petals. See? And then I'm going to do the same with the other one. Just going around the edge of the brown, but I'm going to let it overlap into the yellow petals. And there. Now I'm going to put some of that wine color on the tip of the flowers. I changed my brush because I wet the other brush a little too much, and that's why it's a little smeared in this area here. So I'm just going to leave it alone. And I did change the green because this looks more like it just doesn't go with this ocean green. So I'm just going to use a lighter this green, which is more like a petal green. And we just cover those petals up nicely. You can just check your work. The petals are perfect. It does not take long to do this part. I think the longest of the most time you have to wait is for it to dry before you can continue to work on your piece. Again, don't saturate. I think I've been saturating my brush a little too much. Don't saturate your brush. It's better for you to go back if you need to and add a little more. And let's see how that looks. I'm okay with it. We'll see what it looks like when it dries. Because any little imperfection, there's a way to cover it up. That's what those good old permanent markers are for. And we're going to finish the stem in the middle. And you might be able to see my paper bubbling up a little bit. And there's only one reason for that is I really don't know. It's some college papers that I had under my shelf in the kitchen, and those are the ones that I'm using. So I'm just applying the basics that I have learned. So as you can see, it's bubbling up. It's not messing the page up. It's just bubbling up because it's wet. Okay, now we have to just wait and then come back and finish our piece of art. I went ahead and added one of the stamps that I'm going to use on the print. And I'm just going to go lightly around it. I think I'd have it upside down. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not going to press too hard because I don't want a lot of the writing on the print, so that I have space to write what I'm going to write on the bottom, or let's see here. Just here and there, not that much. Lightly, lightly. Okay, I think that's good enough for that. I think I'm going to add a little bit of these squares here on this corner over here. Let's see how that looks on there. That's the good thing about these Gelli prints. You can just keep adding and adding. And let's see where that goes. I really need some makeup brushes. This is a little too much with these brushes. Let's see how that looks. It just has to dry. And I think I'm going to put a little bit down here at the bottom. These brushes are a mess. I am working with what I have at the moment. I feel like I'm pounding harder than I need to. Nice. Looks nice. So you could just keep adding. I know, a little drip here, maybe a little drip over there. That's workable. I dried the print before I did the outline of the leaves and the flowers. And I will do the same with this, and we'll keep moving forward. I've taken each square, and I've just taken my Uniball pen and gone and covered all four corners of each square. I think it looks really nice. Not perfect. My print is not going to be in the National Art Museum in New York or anywhere else, but it's a print that I can put in a journal. So next, let's get this printed on here somewhere. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. The best place is right here. So let me get a piece of tape and prepare that before we stamp on. I went ahead and put the stencil down with some masking tape, and I'm going to actually make the lettering yellow. So let's see what happens here. Up till now, even though not perfect, it's looking really good. I have to lift it up, make sure I'm not smearing anything. check it one more time. And the top seems to be a little messier than the bottom, but that can be fixed also. It says, "You are my sunshine." Let's see how we can outline that so it looks a little smoother, because this came out smoother, and because the paper was a little bubbly, it came out like that. It can be fixed, and this is it. Not too happy with how this came out, but when I look at it, and I think to myself, okay, I have this one and I have that one. I did this one last night. It looks almost perfect. And this one, just not. But yet when you look at both of them, you're looking at pieces that, yes, they would go, they go well in an art journal. Thank you so much for joining me. This is it. See you in the next one. God bless you, and have a good rest of your day.